Welcome back. Let's get to work implementing our graph class. So I mentioned in the last video, we're going to use an adjacency list to do this. And our basic class for our graph is super basic. That's a bad way of explaining that. It's very simple. Let's put it that way. All we need is a single property called adjacency list or something similar to store the actual edges, the relationships, the connections between our vertexes or vertices. So it will start empty and we'll add things in one at a time. But first, we need a way just to add a vertex. Before we can add edges, before we can draw the connections, we have to just add the dots, the nodes. So that's where we're going to start. I should mention we're going to do an undirected graph for now. It's very simple to change it to be a directed graph where the relationships, the edges are one way. There's a direction from A to B. For us, we're going from A to B and at the same time B to A. So when we add an edge in, we'll talk about how we handle that. But let's start with the basics, adding in a vertex. So here's our first method. We'll use this as our skeleton. Add a vertex is basically a one-liner. It takes the name of a vertex, whether it's 10 or pineapple or Hawaii, whatever it is, we add that in to our adjacency list. So write a method called Add Vertex, which accepts a name of a vertex. It should add a key to the adjacency list with the name of the vertex, and its value should be an empty array. So we add a vertex first before we can add an edge. So there's no connections at this point. We're just adding in a simple vertex. So if we had a graph called G and it was empty and we called Add Vertex Tokyo, the result is that our adjacency list looks like this. Tokyo is now a key and the value for Tokyo is an empty list, an empty array. And that's it. So it's really, really simple, this one. All that we do, write the method. You need to just make sure that it accepts a vertex. You add that vertex as a key with a corresponding value of an empty array to the adjacency list, and that's all. So give it a shot. In the next video, there'll be like a 10-second solution.